So, where we left off last time, Sala had just been let out of the bad boy box. And so we are going to be doing what happened in the meantime, which is Constantinos. You wanted to go do a thing with August in the armory, didn't you? So this is after the mission. You guys have just got back in from space. You know, you're taking off your gear, you're getting it cleaned and serviced, but Constantinos, you had a little something sequestered away that you didn't have time to give to August before the mission, correct?
Yeah, if Barbas would let me.
Oh, yeah, this is true. Barbas has dragged you away to the fucking chaplains, and you're still sat there, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh my god, okay.
I'm sat there waiting for Ola to come on.
Yeah, okay, in which case, this is how things would go down. You guys are waiting in the Reclusium, and it's taken like a couple hours, but now Chaplain Ola has straight up rocked up through the doors. You guys have just been sat around on the pews, Barbas in prayer, watching Constantinos with suspicion?
Barbas has been posted by the door like a bouncer to make sure Constantinos doesn't leave.
What's Constantinos been doing to pass the time?
Praying, probably. Constantinos would have a line of coins tied together by some thin silk-like material that he would probably be clasping in his hands, praying, waiting for the chaplain to return.
Well, you guys have been holding this for a couple hours, but finally Chaplain Ola does rock up. He is in full battle plate with his helm on. You guys are also in your battle plate because you are in a war scenario. You probably take the opportunity to have your helmets off, all of you, but you guys are, you never know when the hull might get breached, so helmets ready, power armor stays on. You guys are basically never out of uniform right now. So yeah, Chaplain Ola walks through the door, turns, sees Barbas immediately, standing guard at his door, and he's like, "Is there something I can help you with, Brother Barbas?"
There is in fact, Chaplain Ola. On the previous mission, I witnessed a matter of utmost concern regarding my brother Constantinos here. I assume you have been briefed on the occasion.
I have not. My duties have taken me elsewhere.
Very well then. During the mission, it was pertinent that Constantinos interface with the Xenotech heresy aboard the ship to locate a safe way out. During this, some sort of apparition from the warp took over and assaulted all of us.
I see. And your concern is?
Barbas kind of his face, his facial muscles flex a little bit as he kind of stands there in disbelief. Chaplain Ola, is this not a matter of utmost concern? It is the warp taint in one of our battle brothers. Must be addressed immediately.
How do you know the warp taint originated in him and not the Xenos machinery?
Because it had originated in me, Chaplain.
The chaplain then, basically staggers back a second as you just say that. He's like, oh.
It was something between me and Forge Master Adio. You told me to keep it on the low. Neither of us had expected it to occur during the mission.
Did he say what it was?
Out of respect, he have told me to keep it on the down low, but seeing that it has potentially compromised a mission.
I know Adio. I do not believe he would mind you telling me. I believe he will have said to not share it when it is not necessary, more than not tell anyone. He is not much one for secrets, but he is certainly not one to spread information that might cause rash action.
Of course, Brother Chaplain. During our last fight with Commander Diahan and the traitorous forces ambushed us, they had infected my armor with some sort of warp-borne virus, the understanding of which is beyond me.
And I. Ugh. I see, a technovirus. It is not the first I have seen, and it will certainly not be the last. He turns to Brother Barbas. I am afraid there is nothing I can do. This is a matter of the priesthood of Mars. The Emperor has no power over this kind of technological ailment. His spirit will be fine. His machine spirit, however, is another concern.
Barbas has kind of stood there, still quite slack jaw, that Constantinos flat admitted it. And he's working his jaw a little bit before he kind of just Very well then, Ola. If you think it not pertinent this be pursued any further, I will not.
No, I did not say that. I believe that your concern is admirable, brother. What Konstantinos needs now is observation, time. The techno-virus is in his armor, and unfortunately, his bionics. He needs spiritual fortitude to help fight off this malady. He is essentially cursed by the forces of chaos, and he must now fight this spiritual battle alone. But that does not mean that you can't assist, that we, as his brothers, cannot assist in helping him fight this unseen war.
If I am to understand you correctly, Chaplain Ola, you are to say a warp-born technovirus permeates the very aspect of my brother, and I am to assist him with spiritual warfare? I am to compromise myself and my fellow squad mates for one so tainted?
I am sorry, is it policy in the Herald's Devout to leave a wounded brother behind?
If the wound is infected to such a degree that you must lop off more than they can handle, they are to be left to die.
Then I am sorry your chapter has no concept of brotherhood. That must have been very hard for you.
Konstantinos will nod towards the chaplain after he says that in agreement.
I will say, at this point, Brother Orla takes his helmet off, and he is genuinely looking at Barbas with a mix of, kind of revulsion and pity.
Just to clarify, because it didn't come across 100%, what Barbas is saying is that if a brother is as warp-tainted as Konstantinos seems to be, they kind of just get shoved off to go on a sentry mission and die.
As a member of the Firehawks, he finds that fucking vile, and the level of kind of warp taint that Konstantinos has obviously been greatly exaggerated by 2 crit fails in back-to-back and double twist of fate. That was a pretty major manifestation of the technovirus. Yeah, the chaplain doesn't seem to think it's particularly serious. It obviously is, but he's not, no one's happy that this is on Konstantinos, but also no one thinks that he should be fucking executed for it, the general impression you've been given.
Barbas kind of, upon receiving that slight to his entire chapter's honor, fixes his helmet in place and turns to leave, and as he does so, he speaks. Chaplain Orla, if it is as you say, I will enhance my vigil. Even the chaplains cannot be trusted to handle matters of purity on this watch station. And he trots off, all moody.
I'm going to give Chaplain Orla a moment. As you go to step away, the chaplain basically takes a step forward, clenches his fist, and a ring of golden fire appears around you. You would dare question my purity, Barbas? As literal, divine fire now encircles you. He's clutching something in his hand.
Konstantinos is going to place, a hand on the shoulder of the chaplain. Brother, it is not worth this light. We have missions we need to complete. Let it not be infighting that tears us apart.
The chaplain relaxes his hand, the fire disappears. Listen to me well, son of Caliban. I have smote demons to ashes with a flick of my wrist. Hordes of heretics have fallen before me. Your brother is fighting a battle none of us can assist him directly with, and you would abandon him. This is no brotherhood. This is no faith in the God Emperor of mankind.
Barbas kind of half pivots to face the chaplain. You speak of faith, Chaplain Orla, yet you must rely on theatrics to prove yours. I was aware of the differences I would find in the Deathwatch. But these, in the words of Watch Captain Varvras, I must use my compromise. But it certainly is quite the difference in chapters. And he half turns and tries to walk away again, unless Orla fancies incinerating him this time.
No. Orla is very pissed off. He's not like that. Yeah, he is very much smouldering there. On with the stuff. So, Konstantinos, you've been obviously allowed to leave now. But I guess back in the barracks would be Garthiel, August, and Dima when Sala walks in. This is the first you've seen Sala in weeks. And once again, Sala is without Ignis Renatus.
Garthil stands up as he takes a couple steps towards Sala. It is good to have you back, cousin. Have you calmed down from your beating?
Sala's going to actually just straight up ignore him and walk past him.
Oh no, for one thing that's effective against Garthil, ignoring him. As you walk past Garthil, he turns his head to your back to notice there's no Ignis Renatus, as you can guess what's coming next. Have you lost your weapon again, Sala?
Sala's going to turn and give Garthiel a brief bit of side-eye and simply say, I have all the weapons I need, brother, and just continue moving towards his bunk.
While that happens, Garthil will attempt to try to see if there's any weapons on Sala.
He's in his power armor, so yeah, he's got his plasma pistol and bolter at his hip.
Just gives Sala a look up and down, but shrugging his shoulders and, I guess, going back to his bunk, sort of a bit dejected that he wasn't talked back to.
I think August is probably sitting on the side, with his helmet off, as he prefers to do.
I hope you're well, brother. It's been a long time.
The Emperor wills me be well. That's it, that's all Sala's going to say.
August, I think, wrinkles his nose a little bit. He can tell something's off, but he's not sure if now's the right time to pry, so he'll leave it.
Just because it's my turn, quotations. Having watched the previous two interactions, Demo's just sort of gonna very obviously just observe Sala. So if Sala were to look at Demo, he'd see him just staring right at him. Very obviously, very purposefully.
The candles in the kind of alcoves inside it's because it's halfway between a chapel and a military barracks are kind of like flickering, and so there's this kind of soft light all over the place, but it casts a lot of like mixed shadows, which definitely patina themselves across Sala's face as you're kind of sizing him up and down, watching his movements, trying to get a hint of what's going on in his head.
Sala does not meet Demon's eyes.
Garthil will take another step, sort of approaching behind Sala before clasping his pauldron in an attempt to swing him round face to face. So, cousin, where have you been?
Sala will meet him eye to eye and just say, existential obligations demanded my attention. Nothing that is yours to pry into.
And why would that be? What secrets are you hiding, Sala?
None he will give you if you keep prying, brother.
I am not speaking to you.
Nor do I care if you're speaking to me, brother. You speak to my brother and your brother, though you will not call him it. You should not antagonize him. Would you have been so reticent to get along?
I take my hand off Sala's shoulder blade, brushing my hand against myself.
As you remove your hand from Sala, presumably you look in Sala's direction. When you do so, you can see that his face has gone from looking at you to looking at you with like barely sustained rage in his eyes. But he still stays silent.
Noticing this, a smile cracks across Garthil's face. I hope you take some of that rage on the Xenos ahead, cousin. And if you wish to re-challenge me, you will need it further.
Sala closes his eyes, breathes the deepest breath a space marine could possibly breathe, and exhales extremely loudly through his nose before he turns back to continue fumbling around with his personal things.
Garthil will just sort of fist bump Sala's pauldron before walking away.
Sala completely ghosts the shoulder punch.
So Dima, having observed Sala carefully over the last couple minutes, will notice the similar malnourishment that he suffered in the isolation chamber, smelling the same smells that Dima smelled in the isolation chamber, and carefully pieces together that there's only one place he could be, with no notes to any of the other squad members, like he himself was, and that's with Chaplain Orla into the lockbox. So how is Chaplain Orla, Sala?
Sala stops what he's doing, and sort of his eyes sort of glance upwards, but not the rest of his body. And he just quietly says, you should consider asking him yourself.
Just a passing curiosity, seeing as you've seen him recently.
Sala's going to turn around and glance another side eye at another one of his squad mates and simply say, Spare me your noise, Brother Dima.
I too enjoyed the sound of silence afterwards. It is not surprising. But I know why I was in there. I could not fathom, I guess, why you were in there, brother.
Sal's gonna slam his hand just on the workstation in front of him and just say, "If you must insist on meddling in matters beyond you," and I was just gonna quickly turn around, "perhaps go question the watch captain about his orders. Better yet, march to Holy Terror and ask the Emperor himself why he does as he wills."
August raises an eyebrow.
Dima will sort of gently stand up. I see you have some inner turmoil, brother. If you wish to talk about it with someone who's been there themselves, then seek me out when you will it. And he'll sort of go to leave if Sala doesn't want to say anything else.
I desire your counsel like I desire sand in my robes.
Well, to me, it does seem like you seek sand in your robes. For it is obvious you do not want to be here.
I am exactly where the Emperor needs me.
Let's see how much longer you can keep up that charade, shall we?
And with that, there is going to be a large bell toll. This is the most somber bell toll you have heard in a while. This is a supremely somber bell toll. Just the sound of it rings kind of out to your soul. It genuinely has a bit of a psychic effect on you, and Dima, you can feel that this is some kind of potent relic being rung almost. It genuinely is not just a normal bell. We'll have Garthiel be unaffected by the kind of pit stomach feeling this bell causes in everyone else. And this bell echoes throughout the entire ship, so Barbas and Constantinos, as you're on your way back to the barracks, you hear it as well. And both groups of you, are immediately kind of set upon by a Deathwatch serf in the black and red robes of the Inquisition, who basically, in a large hood, you can't see their face, you can't see any hint of their human body, and they just kind of walk up to the doorway, so, they're standing right in front of Dima, or, standing right in front of Barbas, and they basically both go, "The ceremony of remembrance is beginning. Do you wish to attend?" So, the ceremony of remembrance, you would all know as members of the Deathwatch, as members of Watch Station Zalfron, is the ceremony in which they hang up the pauldrons of dead Astartes who have died in service of the Deathwatch.
Oh shit, August would remember this noise then.
August, you know this noise real well. Too well.
Yep, Sala ain't going.
Constantinos will go.
I think as soon as August sees the surf appear, before the words even leave their mouth, he knows what's happening, and he stood up to follow them.
Barbas?
Yeah, why not? Get him out of the house.
Yeah, Dima will go.
Garthiel?
Would Garthiel have known these people? Probably no.
No, you guys do not know the other kill teams very well.
I think, my chapter does, at least honor dead. Garthiel would go. So,
all of you, bar Sala, you head up to this corridor of the Lance of Penance, which is filled with hooks. Big, robust adamantium hooks. And there is one hook for every member of the Deathwatch currently aboard the Lance of Penance. And immediately, you can see the entire corridor is filled with black-clad Astartes, who are watching as two serfs, dressed in these black mortuary robes, handle a pair of shoulder pads up onto these hooks. One is a black shield pad, sporting studded armor bonding beads, and the other is of the Carcharodon's chapter. Watch Captain Varvris is there, and he gives a short speech commemorating the two who died bravely in the name of the Deathwatch. You have the sense that he has given this speech far, far too many times. And he just kind of ends it with a, "Only we will remember their name." And the chant is sort of morbidly picked up by everyone around them as the two pauldrons are left hanging high above your heads, looking down on you almost, as people begin to slowly clear. And that is it. So, after that, you are put back on regular combat Astartes drill for 2 days. This leaves you with precious little free time. Your combat drills have definitely got a lot more stiff as of late. It really feels like you guys as a squad are working together more as a machine at the moment. You're not quite covering each other. Sala in particular is really not covering any blows for anyone. And as you are at the end of a training session, holstering your gear once again in the armory, returning spare magazines from range training, August and Constantinos, you both find yourself in the armory at the exact same time. Constantinos, you have a little something sequestered away in the armory, don't you?
Constantinos, over the past few days, with help of Watch Captain Varvras, has been constructing a new item for August, something he has recently lost. Currently hidden away in his locker. The happy coincidence that both of them were in the armory seemed like the perfect time to give August the new item. But August, do you mind if I have a moment of your time?
Of course, brother. I take it your hectoring from Barvis wasn't too intense.
A bit ill-guided, in my opinion, but it wasn't too bad. His suspicions were justified in a light, but it wasn't horrid, as I had initially thought. But that is besides the point, Brother August. How's combat been for you, combat training, these recent days?
It's been grim, brother. I've never felt such a lack of artistry in my training.
Would you say a bit off-balanced, brother? As Constantinos is going to open his private locker, pulling out something covered in cloth.
The corner of Augustus' mouth picks up. He kind of looks at the cloth object, looks back at Constantinos.
Is this what I think it is, brother?
I sure hope so. As Constantinos removes the cloth covering it, revealing something akin to his Augustus Briar shield. The design is the same, colors is the same, just made by a different craftsman, as he hands it over towards August. This team needs its shield more than ever, it seems.
August takes it in both hands, kind of looking down at it with full concentration. He's looking over the edges, the corners, the paintwork, and then he locks it to the gauntlet of his armor.
I can stop worrying again, brother. You have 1,000 of my thanks.
I do not need any thanks, just don't lose this one. It took me a minute to make.
I won't.
Aye.
On Terra, I won't. I swear this to you.
Another day goes by, you're again on combat drills. The combat drills once again go rather poorly. And as you are finished, all of you are kind of frustrated and really unhappy about just your performance. You know, you let blows in you shouldn't have. You didn't kill as many targets as you should have. There was maybe even one point where one of you came close to reaching a death condition. You know, like some mine servitor nearly got to you or something. And you're all, you know, in the armory, returning your gear to be looked after by the serfs, just all kind of really annoyed. Sala has been wielding a power sword, not Ignis Renatus, but a regular power sword for these training drills, and he very much seems uncomfortable with a one-handed blade, to say the least, which has definitely contributed a bit to the poor performance. But as you are all putting your equipment away, the klaxons blare. The last time you heard these klaxons was when the entire forces of Zalfram were deployed for the Kroot War Sphere, and you know this means it is time for another full muster. In the background, you've been hearing reports that the Imperial Guard forces, Legio Thanataris, and a bunch of Astartes have already made planetfall onto the Tau Sept world of Dal'yth. But they seemed to hesitate for a day, as there was a lot of debate at Crusade Command of whether or not they should make planetfall with the extremely vulnerable state the Crusade fleet is in. The general tactical assessments you've been hearing are that if another Tau fleet, a proper Tau fleet, rocks up, the entire Crusade will be wiped out. That is the genuine tactical assessment that has been shared with the Deathwatch. Whoever else has received that tactical assessment is very much up in the air. It might even be kept secret from other Astartes. So that is a top secret piece of information that only the Deathwatch has, most likely. You don't know who else has clearance, because the Imperium is terrible at that kind of communication. And with the klaxons blaring, you know you have to head to the Strategium. So before you even have time to put your weapons away to be maintained and oiled, you have to once again pick them up, place them on your belts, and you head up to the Strategium. Arriving towards the Strategium, you can in fact see that other members of the Deathwatch command team, Chaplain Orla, Forge Master Adio, Keeper Hamish, already grabbing other kill teams and ferrying them into different rooms. Watch Captain Varvarus is standing at the top of the ramp towards the Strategium, waiting for you very clearly as he glares down at you, and he beckons you into one of the rooms. Inside the room is General Wendell Gage, who you remember as the High Imperial Army Commander, and someone you don't recognize, but is immediately recognizable to you as a Moderati Primus of Legio Thanataris, whose colors are purple and white. And as the watch captain leads you in, he gestures towards the people. Lord General Wendell Gage, you already know. And this is Moderati Primus Silius of the Legio Thanataris. You will be working with the Moderati directly during this mission. I suggest you introduce yourselves politely.
I think that August would look at the rest of the squad, realize I should probably speak up first. So yeah, he takes his helmet off with one hand, and taking things in a few seconds, decides, yes, I will indeed sort of half bow to the Moderati. He only half bows. His knee does not touch the floor, but it certainly bends to sort of meet him at eye level.
Moderati Primus, it's an honor to work beside you.
It is a privilege. He sort of gives a half bow back and then reaches up with a hand to kind of fiddle with his Vox unit. He is a very thin man and quite short. He is balding and you can really see the veins in his forehead, and his eyes have been replaced with a single orange visor. His mouth is in fact a Vox grill, but it appears to be slightly crooked, and that does seem to follow the surgical scars, though do seem to mimic his jaw, which in life was crooked, but he seems to have to constantly be reaching up to adjust it as their voice wavers up and down, as they are so bionic that you can't really determine any form of gender. They are more machine than human at this point.
Constantinus will probably just follow in August's lead, but not speak up.
Garthiel's studying the mortal, seeing more machine than man or woman, and decides this person looks quite important, as he'll take a couple strides forward.
The watch captain puts his hand on your shoulder and pulls you back and forces you to bow.
Barbarous not wanting to get crumpled by the watch captain will follow suit.
I'll just turn my head in a glaring look under the helmet.
You get a withering, burning gaze that makes your old jaw injury ache.
I'm Garthiel Victus of the Grim Wardens. After shaking himself free of the watch captain, Garthiel looks towards the very important figure. May I have the honor of a handshake?
The Moderati looks you up and down. They kind of very politely fold their hands behind their back and go, "You may have the honor, but I will not physically touch your hand, as it is not our proper custom within the Legio." And then once again he brings up his hand, desperately trying to fiddle with his Vox unit.
Fair enough. Take a step back.
Demo will put a fist sort of across his chest and just sort of like nod his head. Demo Makarov of the Alchemists, at your service.
Sal's just going to very politely step forward and just say, Salah Al-Heed of the Midas Saints, I'm yours to wield. And just do a half bow forwards.
As you all finish introducing yourself, those of you who didn't speak your name, you do notice that the Moderati doesn't ask for them as he turns his attention back to the Strategium map, which is displaying a large swathe of landmass of Dal'yth in its ghostly green hue. Now then, let us get down to brass tacks. Watch Captain Varvas sort of half growls as he beckons for you all to come and look at the hololithic display. General Wendell Gage, will you please inform the squad of the stratagem that has been employed by the Crusade upon this planet? Yes. Yes. You see, the stratagem formulated for this crusade was a high-speed precision strike into the Tau Empire. We had not the forces to properly purge this empire. With the Deathwatch's deployment of the biophage, we would have been able to devastate 3 of their core sept worlds and been able to bring the Tau Empire to its knees in a precision blow. But with the loss of 2 of the canisters, and the 3rd being sequestered for the protection of future events, we find ourselves now without the forces to really take this world, but with all the zeal to do it. As such, once again, we must rely on speed, as we did on Sayakel. But just as on Sayakel, our assault has already stalled. I believe, unfortunately, we're entering an unwinnable situation, as he gestures to the Strategium map and the surface flickers. Even the mighty Legio Thanataris has been brought low by the Tau, losing 6 Titans already. There is a genuine wince from Silius as he brings up that blunt fact. Well, a sort of twitch, as they no longer have eyelids.
What Titans did they lose?
They lost some Warhounds and 1 Reaver.
Oh, man.
Could have been worse.
It could have indeed been worse. I would like to point out Legion Thanataris has no Imperators. Initially, we deployed the Brimlock Dragoons with a force of the Legio Thanataris shortly afterwards as an armored spearhead, hoping to overwhelm the Tau forces completely. But, well, the Tau retreated to pre-prepared positions in this woods, and a large forest is highlighted on the map. The Tau call it Gelbryn, and, well, here they have broken up our spearhead. He gestures to the western part, which the forest starts to fade out into foothills and a mountain, as they are launching a series of strikes from what are known as Manta aircraft. One appears on the hololithic display. Is this Titanic aircraft, absolutely huge. And we have recovered one for study, but it would appear that these craft are most formidable. Our fighters and most of our escort craft have been destroyed by Tau fighters, and now we are simply mobilizing what Thunderbolts we have left as screening shield for the Titan legions, who otherwise would be taken out by these Tau aircraft. The general gestures towards the center of the forest. And here, the Ultramarines, Iron Hands, and Sides of the Emperor's chapter have led a spearhead in, but they themselves are being outfoxed, outgunned, and I'm afraid sorely beaten by a pair of Tau commanders. We are losing Space Marines at a terrifying rate. And to the east here, we have our offenses have stalled in its entirety, simply due to the sheer Tau firepower. I've had to order complete haltings across the line. We're digging in now, trenches, but we're still losing masses of casualties in constant night raids, and we haven't the Astartes forces to cover the entire line and hold the center of our line, which would immediately cave to the massed battlesuit offensives. He sort of rubs his forehead, and the watch captain is even staring at this hololithic rather grimly. Even our veteran regiments, such as the Rakshan Rifles, are being torn to pieces by crude ambushes, just as they were on Sayakel. It seems like no matter what tactics we employ, the Tau have us outgunned, outmaneuvered, and outmatched. As such, your watch captain and I have come up with a daring offensive. A task force of Imperial Guardsmen will be sent forward through the western stretches here, into the hills, and up into the mountains to assault the Tau Manta facility. This facility is a complex that spreads through most of the upper reaches of the mountainside, and as such, we can't even rely on a small kill team laden with explosives to blow it up. And worst of all, the thing has massive void shields. We can't blow it up from orbit. The Tau have complete air superiority, and which leaves us with the only option of taking it from the ground. And worst of all, the thing is only accessible by anti-grav technology, which means that our guard regiments are going to need to scale a mountain under fire with little to no support. And the only Astartes we have spare to cover this offensive is you six. I hope you understand the direness of our situation. He looks at you all.
I give a little curt nod, because I don't want to offend this guy.
Do you have any questions on my tactical assessment? Or are you quite happy with my tactical plan this time?
August meets his gaze immediately, just for a half second longer than is at all comfortable.
This seems very frank.
And he leans back.
What forces do we expect to encounter?
Battle suits, full Tau Fireblade cadres, Kroot, Vespids, everything the Tau can throw at us.
Do we expect the big Tau battle suits we saw on our previous mission?
Most certainly.
Look at the rest of the squad in like a you've seen this shit kind of way.
Can I make a defensive tactics roll to analyze the Tau lines as to where they will have kill boxes set up?
I was gonna ask something similar, yeah.
We can do it together because we are friends.
Can I do tactics assault instead?
Oh, I was going to say, the situation in front of you is too broad, really, for a full assessment. Like, you would need to spend hours looking over this to properly assess.
So you'd say you need to be quite studious.
Yeah.
Or perhaps maybe a bit calculating.
I think studious is more appropriate, actually, to be honest. You need more time to properly assess this, 100%. This is a full front war engagement over many, many miles. So to give an idea of the scale that you're going to crossing, if you were foot slogging this as Astartes, it would take you 2 months to reach that Manta base from current Imperial lines.
Did they say how we were getting there?
You are joining a full Imperial Guard offensive.
Can I use tactics assault for specifically our offensive movement?
Again, you need more time. There's too much information here.
Alright, can I download it and into my armor so I can study it? Okay.
Yep.
Constantinos will go ahead and download all available information to this offensive and start looking it over.
Not to insult the Moderati with a public question like this, but over a private vox, Barbas will regrettably ask Constantinos, if you would make another copy for my purview, that would be greatly appreciated.
Of course, Brother Barbas. Make a second copy on a data slate and hand it over to Barbas.
The general's kind of just watching you as you tap into the hololithic. Well, I hope that's all squared away.
What are the exacts on this regiment we'll be joining? What forces do they have at their disposal?
The exact strike force is to be commanded by, well, you knew him as Colonel Garandren, but for his heroic action in the assault on the Minar Ridgeline, he has been promoted to Brigadier Garandren.
August smiles, broadly.
This is the guy we absolutely did not help out at all, isn't it?
Yes, it is! The Imperial Guard forces will consist of the 17th Brimlock Dragoons, the 122nd Brimlock Armoured, and the 115th Cadian Mechanized Regiment.
What kind of armoured regiment is that?
The 122nd, They are tanks, varied support vehicles. I believe they have a singular Baneblade to their name.
Which variant?
What was the one you guys put at the bottom of your tier list?
Quick, say the S one.
No, it is a standard Baneblade.
Will we be given any vehicle for this mission?
The 17th Brimlock Dragoons boast a rhino in their armory that they recovered, abandoned in the Minar Ridgeline.
No. No.
It's just, you can hear like the slab, like the like noise as Constantinos just turns and looks at the rest of the party.
Has the rhino been tended to by the tech priests?
Well, it's become a little bit infamous amongst the guard regiment, you see. There's a wild story that they found it roaming around, gunning down Kroot.
I think August bites his lip visibly enough to draw blood because he cannot believe that this is happening right now.
Yes. The regiment has apparently started naming it the Lucky Duck, as it's become a little bit of a mascot for them.
Salah's just gonna spit on the floor.
Barbas will immediately vox privately to Salah.
Watch yourself in front of the watch captain of the Moderati, brother. It is impolite.
The watch captain will give you a glare. That is not an appropriate name. And the general then shrugs. Apparently, the machine spirit is pleased by it. They said something there about rhinos will seek out name. I'm not a cogboy. I don't understand these sorts of things. The Moderati flinches a bit and looks at him with very clear contempt.
August will turn to the Moderati.
What do you make of this, Moderati? What's the situation from your perspective?
The situation from our perspective has also been handled by the watch captain, as the Imperial Guard have proven inadequate in protecting our Titans from Tau aircraft. We have requested a attachment force from the Deathwatch, who will be joining us shortly. And as if on cue, the doors behind you open, and a familiar tech marine, accompanied by two unfamiliar tech marines. One of the Space Wolves chapter, and one of the Imperial Fist chapter, led by, of course, our beloved Black Templar tech marine, Gracchus. Reporting for duty, watch captain. Kill wing. Ready for combat. The watch captain will bow his head in respect and beckon the three tech marines over. These three will be attaching themselves to your operation sphere. Each given a Corvus Black Star. They'll be forming a protective screen for the Titans, specifically for the chief Titan of the Legio, Atramania. A Warlord Titan flickers onto the screen, equipped with twin triple turbo laser sponsons and a pair of volcano cannon arms. The Atramania has been proven as the most effective Titan against the Manta assaults. In addition, it has torn through Tau armor and is of the highest priority to reach the Manta facility. Should you succeed in escorting Aramenia and the other Legio Thanataris Titans attached to this strike force, their combined firepower should be able to bring down the facility, though there are no guarantees, and a ground offensive still may need to be mounted.
How many other Titans are there?
So Atramenia is a Warlord class. Accompanying it is 2 Reaver classes and 6 Warhounds.
Got it. I can't think of any more questions. What's the topography like? Would we need a map?
There is a map in front of you. Something you'll notice as you study the map, the planned route of the offensive is through the edge of the Gelbrin Woods, and you'll notice that that part of the Gelbrin Woods is actually covered by a familiar chapter symbol, the symbol of the Silver Swords.
Looking at our route, are there any obvious ambush positions?
Oh, the whole thing.
God damn it.
So basically your route takes you through the edge of the Gelbrin Woods, then into hilly lowland terrain, and then to a mountain. It is ambush city the whole way there. You are going to be harassed and harried the entire time this strike force advances, if it even makes it through the initial tower defenses.
Can we not just, orbitally bombard the entire way there, and then just go through, a crater field?
Do you dare counter the Emperor's plan?
Well, no, you cannot, because 1, most of the ships are already crippled. 2, the Tau have orbital defenses that will straight up tear the ships out of the sky if they head into low orbit. 3, the Tau have aerial superiority and can just throw tons of mantas at any ship that tries to bombard. 4, the Tau have massive void shields all over the shop, protecting a lot of key locations.
Okay.
5, the Tau are extremely flexible and can just move out of the way of any bombardment.
Constantinos, seeing that the Silver Swords are here, Constantinos does get kind of a soft smirk to himself as he nods and continues reading through all of the available information to him. I love those guys.
You said it was accessible only by anti-gravity technology. What exactly did you mean by that?
The hololithic flickers. The general begins to fiddle with the console, and you are just shown the mountain, and the facility, the Tau Manta Air Base, which is built into the side of the mountain, has no roads that access it whatsoever. There is no form of track or foot travel that can reach it. It is built into the sheer side of the cliff. Scans of it, mapping it out, and showing where the complex is actually, is laid out, are, first of all, kind of fuzzy and garbled, but do not seem to indicate anything leading down like a tunnel down to an easily accessible area. But as you can see from our orbital scans of the facility, only it seems that flyers are able to directly access it. This means that should we be forced into a ground defensive against it, the guardsmen will have to scale the mountain, fighting with grapnels and climbing axes.
Are we expected to climb the mountain too?
Yep. If there are no more questions, then head down to the armory. Fill out your requisition forms. But no, this is the only supplies the Deathwatch will be able to send to you, as we have not the Corvus Blackstars to cover these Titans and ensure runs to your strike force as it moves further afield. What you take with you is likely all you will be able to receive from us.
Oh, Lord.
I am sure the guard forces will be willing to share their bolter rounds with you, should the situation prove to be sufficiently dire.
What of the Edict of Mars?
Fuck the Edict of Mars. Kill Team Ignis. Kill Wing Ignis, as he turns to the 3 tech marines. You are dismissed. And remember, this Tau Manta air base must fall, or the entirety of the Dal'yth assault will crumble.
How are we expected to defend a Titan?
This strike force is a full battle mana pool from Legio Thanataris, 3 regiments of the Guard, all the support shit that needs, and U6. This isn't... They're not giving you nothing. The point is the Deathwatch won't be able to supply you. They've also given you a ton of requisition. You can basically take what you want. They just can't get resupply out to you because you'll be too far out, and you're taking three of their precious Corvus Blackstars with you when they have 7.
So while the squad is bickering over equipment and requisitions, August makes his way over to Adio, the Forge Master, with helmet taken off and held close to his chest.
Adio is basically helping some servitors load up a load of ammunition onto some kind of hauler that is bound for the hangars, most likely. As you see, basically another Deathwatch kill team loading up with as many heavy weapons as they can.
Forge Master, May I have a moment of your time?
You may, brother. What is of the matter?
We're preparing for our mission, but we're concerned the requisition does not stretch to our needs. This particular mission requires us to scale up a mountainside and make assault on what is essentially an unassailable position. We intend to take multiple jump packs, but that stretches us a bit thin.
I understand your concern, brother, but much of our supplies are being pilfered by the Imperial war effort at large. Many of our supply ships were destroyed by the Tau torpedo assault.
I understand, Forge Master, but this is vital to the success of our mission and the well-being of those Titans. It is them that we do this for.
What do you require more of, then? Climbing equipment? Ammunition? He looks at you semi-pleading when he says ammunition, because he very clearly doesn't have much more to give.
Jump packs, brother. We need jump packs. Only 4.
Jump packs I can spare. What station Zelfron has far too many assault marines, in my opinion. But luckily, a few of them favor bikes, which we have in a more ready supply.
August clasps him on the shoulder with a hand.
My sincere thanks, brother.
I will get these back, correct, brother?
On my life, you will have these back.
I believe that is what I am concerned for. Watch yourself out there. Tau technology is very potent.
August glances at his shield.
With this restored, all ill omens seem banished for me. I promise you, Adio, we will not fail this time.
He gives you a solemn nod. Do keep an eye on Constantinos.
August sobers up in his facial features a little bit and nods.
Alright, and with that you return to the squad, who have finished submitting their requisition forms. And now lays the all-important question of who will be squad lead for this long mission.
I would like to elect either myself or Brother August for this mission. My reasoning is we have the most knowledge on our enemy. Via the Oath of Knowledge, we should be able to succeed for the 3 months without any issues.
I concur, Dima. The Oath of Knowledge is the most sound on this deployment. One of us would be best, but I feel I might be better in this scenario. We'll be dealing with mortals. I'm not sure how many of you can stand that on end for 3 months. There will be command meetings. Have any of you experienced that before? With mortals in abundance?
Respectfully speaking, August, regardless of squad lead or not, you can do that either way.
I could, but then there becomes a break in who attends those command meetings and who leads the Astartes. It is these small disjunctions that can lead to greater issues in the war effort. It is something that plagues the Imperial Guard and many mortal forces.
This is true, but either way, I am not concerned. If it is either of us, I am satisfied.
As am I, brother.
Perhaps a mission of this caliber calls upon something more brutal, brothers. Brother Garthiel?
Garthiel steps forward.
I nominate myself.
Sala is going to immediately step forward after Garthiel and say, I cast my vote for Brother Garthiel to lead. He's the sharpest blade in this wind-blown mess, whether we like it or not.
August looks at Barbas, pleading. His eyes are like a wet little dog.
Sala sees the silence in the room and says, Garthiel may be flawed beyond reason, but he's stronger than any of you. This is the fiercest assault we've faced yet. Only a fool would pass the sword to anyone but the assault marine.
And yet he must wait 3 months to wet his blade properly. I believe he's making efforts to become more patient as a leader, and I respect him for this, but I do not think he has 3 months of patience in him.
I concur.
Sala very aggressively turns to August and just says, This mission is too great to risk on weakness. It needs strength, pure and proven. Garthiel is the only one among us who carries that.
Sometimes the best learning opportunities are those that throws you in wailing and screaming as you learn to swim. Garthiel has my vote.
August is gonna look to Barbas straight on, teeth gritting.
Garthiel steps forward, pride puffed in his chest.
Well said, cousins. An assault is what we need.
Barbs has got his helmet off, and seeing what's kind of happened here, he's kind of taken aback at the fact that someone would genuinely consider putting Garthiel in the hot seat for this mission. So Barbus is going to turn to face Brother Salah, hit him with the, surely you jest, Brother Salah. Put the fate of God engines in the hands of one as ill-tempered as Garthiel Victus. I'm unsure what happened in your time away from the squad, but he kind of just gestures with his hands, like a little roundabout motion.
Salah's not even going to look at Barbus, he's just going to respond. The objective is to protect the God engines by purging. Let the best one at killing lead. Anything else is a waste of time, brother.
That would assume Garthiel is the best at killing, brother.
Have you bested me in a battle?
If it was under my terms, Garthiel, you would not make it within 300 meters before I bore a hole in your skull. Unfortunately, those terms cannot be controlled, and considering our opponent favors long-range engagements, though it would be most amusing to see you blown from the sky by railgun fire, it would also jeopardize the mission and the effectiveness of our squad. Since the Tech Marine and our tactical cannot be trusted to make sound decisions, of which I should not be surprised given their current state, my vote is with August, as I am sure the watch captain will concur.
Sal's going to try and get in one last word and say, brothers, we're all bearing jump packs. Let the one of us who knows how to use a jump pack lead.
August turns to Salah. There's a hesitance to him that he's not really had to display before. The situation's never quite called for it.
When it comes to that moment, brother, I will have no shame in ceding command of that direct assault to our brother. He'll know the directions best. But for the 3-month journey...
I just want to clarify with the players, and this will be in the recording so that people know I am not being unreasonable here. You are at a stalemate in votes and cannot elect a squad lead, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Well, we're working on it.
Okay.
Can I try something beforehand?
Yes, you can. Go for it. Oh, yeah.
Barbus is going to turn to Constantinos. Would you mind explaining your real reasoning for picking Garthiel as squad lead?
It's gonna be a confused, pause for a second. What are you implying, Barbus? That I have not been honest with my reasonings for electing Garthiel?
To be frank, Constantinos, I find your reasoning ineffective. Garthiel is an invaluable asset for a direct assault, but as Brother August said, I fear a 3-month wait might kill him with boredom. If you are so eager to prove your purity, Constantinos, let it be on the field of battle you fulfill your duty, in a way befitting the Emperor, and not whatever scheme Garthiel will cook up.
There seems to be almost a stutter as you say purity. As a deep breath is taken, it seems that I am the only one that has faith in his brothers in the squad, besides for Salah. Garthiel has improved massively with whenever it comes to team coordination and patience. There should be no better test to see if he has earned squad lead than a mission like this.
Salah's going to step forward and try to compliment that, and he's just going to say, I sincerely doubt Brother Garthiel has improved at all, but we're facing 3 months of unbroken bloodshed. In a storm like that, you don't want a dull blade. We need his resolve.
Do not need a fan, we need a hurricane.
But he does that regardless of squad lead or not. He doesn't need to be squad lead to be proven effective in combat. He's done that already.
This mission is too important. Say what you will about Garthiel, but when the killing starts, he doesn't falter. That's who I'll follow.
Killing is not all there is to this mission, Salah. Think of the bigger picture.
Salah's just going to make a bleh sound, looking at Dima's ugly face, and just kind of.
He's got his helmet on.
It's still there, and he's just going. He's going to cross his arms to say he's done with this conversation.
Garthiel will step in front of Salah and Constantinos and sort of announce the remaining 3.
Cousins, I may be an assault marine. I may be, in your eyes, just a murderous psychopath, but I can lead. I, too, am an Astartes. I am of the Grim Wardens. I can lead.
And Sala's just going to respond to say, and I want you to prove it. Show me, Brother Garfield, that the Grim Wardens aren't just rabid dogs. Convince them to show us all. He's just going to lift his hand up and point at sort of generally in August's direction.
August is kind of hearing what Sala is saying, and there's something on his face, a sort of reproach, something not disgust, but it almost looks like some kind of guilt, almost like he's wounded, and he just clenches his teeth and puts his helmet on and turns away.
So, players, do you agree you cannot elect a squad lead?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Okay, you are getting no oath and no squad lead for this mission.
Wait.
After literally being unable to reach a decision, you are forced to call in the watch captain, who is extremely displeased he is here. You are all standing at attention, helmets on, as Watch Captain Varvarus is glaring at all of you, as on one side we have Konstantinos, Sala, and Garfield, and on the other side we have Dima, August, and Barbas.
The hell is this split? What is this?
The Watch Captain is going to look back and forth between you. With his helmet off, I have come to each of you, warning you of this division. And now, you cannot even agree upon the oath of moment you will swear, and who will lead a mission that cannot afford delays. You have all failed the Deathwatch, and failed the Imperium of Man with your petty squabbles. And I have failed all of you for not rectifying this. Your kill team is being disbanded. To my left will form Kill Team Ignis. To my right will form Kill Team Renatus. You will both be put under the command of the Dreadnought Alari. Am I understood, Marines?
Of course,
Yes,
Watch Captain.
You are assigned the same mission. If you fail this mission, you will all be placed on censure, which I do not need to remind you is almost certain death. Both your kill teams will be placed under the command of the Dreadnought Alari. Is this understood, Astartes?
Yes, Brother Captain.
Yes, Watch Captain.
Yes.
If I had one more kill team at my disposal, I would send them on this mission instead. But all the others are tasked with even more vital missions. And you are all I have. You are all the Imperium has. Millions of lives are depending on you. On his back is Ignis Renatus. And in a fit of sheer rage, he draws the blade, snaps it over his knee, and throws each of the new kill teams a half, and then storms off.
Hey everybody, Varvarus here. I might have noticed immediately a bit of a different look. This is my new VTubing model. I VTube on Twitch, for those who don't know. Okay, so it's been a while since Puritanicals episode come out, and you all deserve a explanation of what's been going on with me, what's been happening with the channel, and a bit of everything. I'm doing this freeform, off the script, all that. The patron names will be scrolling past me as I give my little speech here. Thank you all so much, patrons. Again, you mean the world to me. There's a particular shout out to the top tier patrons, Mitch, Mira. Love you both. Okay, so basically I nearly lost my flat. I kind of lost my job again. I had to get new employment. I'm now writing law scripts for Warhammer, which is pretty freaking cool. If you've seen his Badab video or his Rinsworld video, both of those were written by me and then edited by Wes. And I even contributed to the White Scar video he recently put out. So yes, things are better for me now. Stuff is stable. My mental health is getting a little bit better after all the stress I've been under. It feels like I've been in like survival mode for a solid year, so it's been pretty hard to focus on making content, and it's hard to get out of that like headspace. If you've been following me over on Twitch, or you've been a part of the Discord and the community campaign, then you will have kind of be a bit more aware of everything that's been happening and been going on. I'm just going to be rambling for a while. Thank you so much for the people who ended up watching this Puritanicals and sticking with us, or if you're just finding the series and binging through, welcome to a small window into my life and behind the scenes. Yeah, a lot has changed in the world with Puritanicals. Yeah. Hopefully I'll get back to releasing these regularly, but I just can't make promises. Life is just so unpredictable at the moment, especially for me. So yes, thank you all very much for watching. I will catch you next time. And always, always remember, suffer not the alien to live.